I'm so glad to be back in South Florida. I really am. But yesterday we were at Riverdale, Chicago, and the weather was in the 30s, but it was a nice day, if that makes sense. And we had a good time. We had a very good time at Riverdale at the Israel of God yesterday. Uh, I got a little post-nasal thing going on, but that's okay. But we had a great time. It was about 19 to 20 of us that went, and we flew up. The flight was awesome. I mean, it was a great flight. Um, it was good to see the trip was so well organized. And the people were like on time. It could not have been a better organized, planned trip than what we had it. And that's what I liked about it. It was so, everybody was ready, everybody was excited, and we got there without a hitch. The plane, we all sat with each other. I have to give top notch to Southwest Airlines. I really do. When it comes to group reservations, Southwest Airlines, my hat is off to them. And it was just awesome. So I just said I could not, it was just awesome. Somebody says, hey bro, Crystal Martin. How you doing, Crystal? How you doing, KT? So yeah, it was just good. Let me tell you, it was the trip. So when we landed, let me just tell you this, and I got to give hats off to the hospitality of the Israel of God. My hats are off. So, when we, as the people of the book, do something awesome, you just got to bring it to the light, because so many people are trying to tear each other down today. The attack on just people is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I'm gonna leave it like that. But let me just say, when you get around people that just are top notch in the way that they do things, you got to bring light, because so many times people are seeing negativity. But let me just tell you, yesterday, I want to say hats off to Bethel, because when they traveled with me, this is the first time that we have taken a trip on a flight. We've chartered buses, and of course, they always do an awesome job with that. That's one thing about the people of Bethel. So I'm rolling this thing back. I want to start from the very beginning. Those that traveled with me, they were awesome. Just people at Bethel in general, my hat is always off to them. Our founding members, they're just awesome. Those that really held the fort down over the Sabbath, they're just awesome. Those that travel, this is the first time that we've ever taken a trip like this as a group on an airline. And everybody was just ready to go. Everybody was together, the meeting spot, just on time. I've never seen anything like that as far as taking a group on a plane that was just as organized as they were. So, I was just so happy that the Almighty has surrounded us with such a great group of people that was able to do that. And I gotta say something about Southwest Airlines. When it comes to group reservations, that is going to be our mode of travel when it comes to the airlines. Southwest, top notch, top notch. When we got to the airport, I was calling myself getting there early because I wanted to print up the boarding passes. When I got there, it's like the employees for Southwest, they picked us out right off the bat, and they said, "Are you all a group?" Yes. They said Bethel House of God, and I knew then it just felt so good when they called us out. They says, we already have your tickets printed, your boarding passes going and coming. And so that was awesome. It was just awesome. When we got on the plane, we were all able to sit together, fellowship together, sleep together. You know, when you got chairs like that and you're just sitting beside each other, we had, although the seats were 3, it was 2 of us in each a row of 3 seats, and it was just awesome. They gave us plenty of room, plenty of elbow space, and it was just awesome. When we landed, I'm talking about red carpet of a treatment. To see a Hebrew organization like the Israel of God roll up, organized, rolled up. They rolled up in about 4 or 5 of conversion vans, all marked with the Israel of God. We walked out of the door of the airport, and these brothers are just lined up. When they lined up, they came and they were at the cellular site waiting for us to land. So when I called them and said, yes, we're there, we're here, they rolled up in about 4 or 5 of these conversion vans that were all marked the Israel of God. And the employees at the airport, they just looked, and just to see people pointing at the vans and how they all were uniformed. The drivers got out, all members of the Israel God. They all got out. They opened up the doors for us, the double doors for us, greeted us with love, introduced themselves. We got on the buses, and they all drove in a line, took us straight to the Israel of God location there in Riverdale. And when they pulled us up, just the welcoming committee that was there, they pulled us up underneath the overhang, let each van out one by one, and when we got to the lobby, just the warm welcome. I mean, it just makes you proud to just be around a group like that, keeping the Sabbath, the feast days, just the hospitality of the warm welcome that they rolled out. They took our coats and hats and made us feel very comfortable, and they told us, they said, listen, we're gonna give you a tour of the facilities, and they did. Brother Julius and Brother Jeremiah walked us around, showed us the entire place. What a 5-star place. You know, you got 5-star hotels that are your elite hotels. Well, this was a 5-star location. They took us to the entire site and just showed us. You know you got a 5-star place when you walk in, and the bathrooms are just top notch. Kitchen top notch. You know, those are indicators for me. But let me just tell you, after the tour, they rolled us out the feast committee rolled us out food to eat. That was just awesome. So they fed us before the service, and the choir yesterday, the Israel of God in Riverdale got a choir like none other. Let me tell you, that choir sung yesterday. I mean, they just really sung. From the children's choir to the adult choir, the musicians, Now, I will tell Israel of God this. There is a group of musicians that I feel that is the best in the world. And I'll give them their accolades when I'm talking about them. But there is a group of musicians that is like none other. But the Israel of God musicians did a good job yesterday. Good job. But that being said, the choir, the music, everything was good. And of course, Pastor Bowie is an awesome teacher. This man is a walking wealth of knowledge and information. He just is. He just is. When he teaches, he does not leave a stone unturned. He will pour every reference of scriptures that's related to his subject, and it was just awesome. Bethel gathered around him yesterday, and just let me give you the atmosphere of the Israel of God. When Pastor Bowie gets finished teaching, he walks down and he stands on the floor and he greets everybody that comes up. Everybody. I'm talking about, the man is standing during the entire time that he's teaching. And then he comes on the floor and he stands for another few hours, just greeting people, just saying hello. So Bethel waited until, people were finished greeting him and each other and the other elders. And all of Bethel came up around him. We took a photo, and then Bethel just started to ask questions. One thing about Bethel, Bethel is a congregation that does not jump on any bandwagon without thoroughly investigating. That's just the way Bethel is. That's just the way my people are. I don't know if they get that from me, but they just don't jump on the bandwagon. They're going to ask questions. They like Peter. Peter, the disciple, asked a lot of questions because they like to be for sure of everything. And they talked to Pastor Bowie about the word, the operations, how he got started, the facility, just everything. And Pastor Bowie was so patient to just answer every question that was presented to him. And I just sit back and let those that come let them just ask whatever they wanted to ask, and let them do it just from their heart. And Pastor Bowie answered from his heart. And it was just awesome. It was just to see somebody that humble and with the humility that he had, just sharing and expounding. And then there was one point, he says, come on, let me show you some things. And he took us to his office, he took us to his conference room, and just took us around just a little bit more, just sharing what done for the God. And it was just awesome. Then leaving, the brothers and the sisters there just came up to greet us again, to bid us farewell, safe travel. And every last one of those brothers was just awesome. Now, this is not something that they put on. This is something that they do. I've been there several times, and not one bit of their hospitality diminishes because you've been there frequently. If you're going there, you need a ride from the airport, you call, that's just what they do. It's just in them. It's just embedded and indoctrinated in them to show hospitality through love, and it makes your Sabbath just a pleasant place. And So it was just great. We landed safely. We came back. And let me tell you, Bethel is looking at some opportunities, and I wanted to take a group up there just to see what God is doing, because it has a model. When I mean, let me just say, yeah, a business model. I feel safe in saying that. They have a business model in place when it comes to teaching the Word of God, to administratively operating, to making sure that the gospel is spread to the four corners of the earth. They have a model, and I have embraced that model. And I love the model in which they operate. So if you find a good model, you jump on it. And they do this in business all the time. Businesses will start up and they say, we want to improve on our model. And when you improve on your model, you're constantly evaluating what you do to make sure that you can do it better. Because we're living in the last days that this gospel has to be preached. And if somebody has a model in which they are reaching the world, why would you not want to jump on that model? So that's what I've done. I just listen to the people that are tapping in to the Israel of God, whether it's on their website, whether it's through social media. People are jumping in from across the world. Be able to rub elbows and to just be able to have an open door opportunity to go there and learn the model and come back and implement that model and be on the same page, be on the same level of understanding, the same methodology of teaching, because we're teaching the word. And everything that the Israel of God teaches, we teach. When it comes to the plan of salvation, the dietary law, the feast days, just the gospel according to the prophets, on and on and on. There's so many things that we found that we walk together. I thank Pastor Boyd for giving us endorsement yesterday for the South Florida area as being a congregation that he knows, that he is vetted, that is teaching the word. And that's what we want to do. We want to teach the word. And somebody might say, well, is it Pastor Boyd that has to vet you, or is it the Most High? Well, it's the Most High. But I can tell you, when you have people that are authentic and they are credible in teaching the word, it's always good for somebody who's been doing it to recognize when somebody's up and coming and doing it the same thing, doing it the same way. I'm sure if I started to teach something that's not according to the word, as quick as Pastor Boyd was to endorse us as a location that teaches, I'm sure if I was teaching something crazy, he would be even as quicker to unendorse that situation. So we don't take lightly him recognizing us yesterday, and we were just happy to be under the umbrella of what they are doing. So it was just awesome. It was just awesome yesterday. It really was. It was just awesome. So upcoming announcements. Let me tell you what we're going to be doing. Right now, this coming weekend, I have to be in St. Petersburg, Florida. St. Petersburg, Florida. So I'm going there. I'm going to spend the Sabbath over there in St. Petersburg. And then after that, I really do not want to travel anymore for a long time. Bethel is growing. The membership is increasing, and I don't want to be away. We have very uh, confident, capable elders that are able to teach even in our absence, but I'm just enjoying myself so much. I don't like leaving, especially when it's two weekends in a row. I've been gone 3 times in the past 4 weeks. I had to go to Baltimore. I came back, went to the Israel of God. Now I'm going to St. Petersburg, and I don't like traveling like that. I don't like traveling like that. I like being home. I like being around, especially when we're blossoming the way that we are blossoming, the way that we're growing, the way that we're growing. It's not good to be on the road. That's just me. That's just my opinion in the situation. So after this weekend, I will be at home for a very long time. I do not plan, it's not in my foresight to go anywhere for a while. One of the things that we're trying to do locally, let me back up. In terms of teaching, I'm going to hit hard. Paganism, the origin of paganism, how it creeped into the church. You will be able to use these lessons and a series of the lessons and the breakdown of these lessons so that you'll be able to show family that are in Romish Christianity. And let me tell you why that they have to be broken down like this. I respect the intelligence of individuals today. Today we're living in an era of technology information, or in the era of information technology. People are exposed to all sorts of information, and that can be good and that can be bad. It can be bad if people use the YouTube as to teach them, especially when people are putting things out on YouTube that they don't have the word backing them. They don't have multiple scriptures backing what they say. Okay? So people can look at some nice graphics and you'll think that that's the truth, because that's how you look at TV. The music, the sound, the swishing of videos and transitions, and it must be right. What makes things right, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Nothing wrong with putting forth a professional presentation. I try to do that, but have some scriptures to back up what you're saying. Back it up and have multiple scriptures. Okay, so this is what our endeavors are. That being said, respecting the intelligence of people today, I'm going to be showing people from an academic perspective of how Christmas entered into Christianity, who brought it in, the who, what, when, where, why, and how of these pagan holidays. It's important that you know, because people are intelligent. And I am confident that if you can show people from a educational perspective of how these things came in, then you will be able to give them some complete understanding. Now, the Bible only warns us about other gods. It doesn't go into details because the Bible does not recognize them as even being gods. So it doesn't even, you're not going to find the history on that. But you can go to outside books. Now, I'm not talking about spiritual biblical books. I'm talking about outside books. The Bible does touch on it when it talks about the Queen of Heaven. But things like how it creeped into the church, who brought it in, why they brought it in, what was the political motivation behind it, you have to go to the individuals that did it themselves. And you need to hear from them. You need to hear what they have written down in history as to why these things took place. It will help our loved ones who are not in the truth but need to know the truth to better understand. So that's what we're going to be doing in the weeks to come. We're going to be doing exactly that so that you can understand, and you may be able to show just a segment to each individual and say, watch this 15-minute clip, watch this 30-minute clip, and you'll be able to do that. So because this year we want to really awaken everybody when it comes to these Christmas and Halloween and all of this stuff, so on and so on. We know what all the pagan days are. We want to really address these things and bring light to the origin of them and why they creeped into the church. Just things that people don't think about. Like, people don't think about, why do you bring the bunny rabbit into this? Where did that come from? So I think those things are important enough to bring in. If you can show the origin of them, even in the encyclopedia, get 2 or 3 different types of encyclopedias, and let's read what those encyclopedias say. Those are the same encyclopedias our kids have in the schools. So they're not hiding it. It's just there. It's just not put out. A lot of preachers don't know this. They just go with the flow. Okay? Let me tell you about, a brother asked me yesterday, and he said, Pastor, when did you only learned about this 3 years ago? I said, brother, I've been keeping the feast days and the Sabbath all my life. However, I did not know what they meant. I was not taught that. I'm thankful for what I was exposed to, but the who, where, why, the why and the purpose of it, I didn't get that, because my leader, the late Dr. S.P. Rollins, was dealing with the exposure, and he was very methodical in how much he gave you, because he, as he said, his job was to gather the people, and that's what he did. He gathered the people, and he put it on the table. And what he did was, he was able to bring people out of Christianity and expose them to the Sabbath and the feast days. And back in the 60s and 70s, that was big. Man, you talking about, and not eating pork? Oh my gosh. That was big. And he did an awesome job in that. But the scriptures let us know, as we grow, we should become wiser. We should become more knowledgeable. And so people will say what they've been taught, not what they read. Preachers do the same thing. They will say what they've heard others before them say, and nothing that they read. That's important to know, because a lot of people are sincere about what they're doing, although they are sincerely wrong. They don't know. And so this is why this year we want to explain. The brothers were sharing with me, Pastor, I want you to go on this radio station. And I listened to the radio station because he's been telling me, you need to go on this radio station. There's no word being taught. It's word being taught, but it's not the truth. And you need to just listen. And I went on there the other day, and I heard what was being taught. And I could not believe that, I've got some children that would have shed a lot of light on for that pastor to know, so he would not say the things that he was saying. Just some of the children at Bethel would have been able to, if they heard it, they would have said, no, that's not right. So he would have done that. Pastor Bean from South Florida exposed us to the fruit decades ago. I knew this as a child in the late 70s in elementary. Yes, Pastor, I myself was very blessed and pleased to have made that trip with you and the other brother and sister to IOG yesterday. It was a blessing. Thank you for going, Brother Tobiah. The brother Chosen Judah says, Judah T says, I love to celebrate the feast days with Israel. Nevertheless, I'm isolated for divine purpose. Pastor Bean from South Florida exposed us to this truth decades ago. That's awesome. That's awesome. Sister Nakira Simone, I love IOG in Riverdale. Listen, we had a ball. Oh, so Pentecost 2020. We're leaving South Florida. We're gonna be taking a trip as a congregation, as many people as we can. We're gonna celebrate. We're gonna observe, not celebrate. We're gonna observe the Feast of Pentecost at the Israel of God. Brother Tyrone Hunter says, I'm still fired up. Brother Tyrone, thank you for going with us yesterday. Abraham Talbert, hello, Brother Abraham, Sister Kay. So it was just awesome. As a group, it was just awesome. I'm going to be diving into this pagan worship. I'm going to be bringing some stuff that is really going to blow your mind. I'm going to bring you and expose you some things about Christmas, the mistletoe, the Yule log, all of that. That is just going to, out of books that are in the library. So we're going to, they're there. They're there. They don't hide it. We're just going to expose it. And we're going to call this Exposing Paganism. Merry Christmas. And that's going to be the title of this series. Exposing Paganism, Merry Christmas. And that's what we're going to do. That's going to be our series. We're going to hit it hard. We're going to hit it heavy. And, you know, again, whatever information I put out there, use it freely. Whatever PowerPoints I use them freely. If you want a copy of them, you can email me. I will freely give them to you. That's what I would do. So that being said, I am going to watch some football. I'm going to go watch some football. So I do love the word. That's my heart. But I do like watching some football. So I'm going to go watch some football. And I like to say to all of y'all, thank you for tuning in. We'll talk soon. And we're going to be sharing with you in the car cams this week our upcoming lessons. And we're going to be dropping little paganism nuggets and information that you can go check out. Just little bitty small nuggets of information dealing with paganism. That's what we're going to be doing in our car cams in the weeks to come. Little things that you'll be exposed to, and you say, wow, I did not know that. So that's what we're going to be doing. Peace. We'll talk soon.